Hello everyone, Reptrex here. As you can see, I'm back in FTB ready for another episode. Now guys, today I've actually planned something a bit different than I actually thought of doing today. I mentioned last time that I wanted to just do this episode after I had already removed everything. And I've kind of done it in the sense that I've removed everything from the overworld. There's pretty much nothing left except my enchantment room and my Tinker's Construct stuff. Got all my IndustrialCraft, all my thermal expansion, all my Ars Magica stuff in here. I've actually already removed even my mob spawners, which I could have probably held off in doing, but there's no need to keep it there, and there's no need for me not to move it. So I don't know. I just decided to just take everything I possibly could need and just move over here. I've also removed all chunk loading from the overworld, so pretty much everything that's loaded right now is just what it's here. I mean, there's no other overworld dimension or anything like that loaded at the moment. Now, let me just go back here, which is what I was going to mention. Now, the reason I haven't actually moved everything completely here is because I decided not to just copy-paste pretty much what I had already on the overworld, because it was a bit of a mess. And now, I did mention last episode that I have a lot of space in here, which I could easily pretty much cover with cables and redstone conduits and item ducts and whatever have you. I can pretty much just fill it up with as much stuff as I wanted to, but it's not very efficient. It's not very Minecraft modded. I don't know. There's a more better way. That doesn't make any sense. There's a better way of doing it with sorry about that. With something called P2P, which is actually point-to-point tunneling through the applied Energistics system, which is actually very cool. I've actually been already testing it in my test world with IndustrialCraft power. Now, I've usually what I use the applied Energistics network is for transferring items between disks and inventories and stuff like that, and doing some automated crafting with those items and so forth. But applied Energistics, apparently, I don't know when this item will get added, but it's just exponentially increases the amount of the things you can do with the system, because you can transfer any kind of fluid and pretty much I know you can do Buildcraft power and IndustrialCraft power. I have only tested IndustrialCraft so far. Don't know how the whole Buildcraft thing works, and I'm not sure if it's even compatible with Redstone Flux, which is from thermal expansion. In the Wikipedia article I read, there was no mention of thermal expansion or redstone flux for that matter, so I'm not sure if it works. I know maybe there's a way around it, and I'll eventually try it out once I get my thermal expansion machine set up to see if maybe there's a way I could use my applied Energistics machines here to set that up. Now, if you notice here, I have a little redstone furnace here on the side, which has actually been cooking up some basic processors, which I'm going to need here. I actually should make some advanced guys as well. Let's cook up another 10 of these. There we go, and just cook these up as well, because I'm gonna need to make some of those interfaces, I guess. Well, let's see what they're called. They're actually called P2P, which is point to point. That's at least what it's referring to. I usually remember P2P as being peer-to-peer from the whole what would it be, like I think Napster or LimeWire, or some old programs they used to use to download music illegally, but I'm sure everybody's tried at least once, see what it's about, or if that one song you can't find anywhere else. Either way, I'm just drifting to somewhere I'm not supposed to be going. I don't want to talk about this at the moment. Right, so ME P2P tunnel. It does require a few resources. It's actually quite expensive to make just one of these guys, and you obviously want to make at least two, so you can tunnel. You want an entrance and exits to this tunnel. You don't want just an entrance, because that wouldn't make much sense. You want to actually use whatever's coming into it. So it requires an advanced processor for each one, and it requires a conversion matrix, which requires a basic processor. So we're talking about at least two diamonds and 2 gold ingots. As far as the basics goes. It also requires obviously some iron ingots and some other stuff here, but pretty much as far as expensive stuff goes, it requires some gold, iron, and diamonds. So it's not something you want to do early game. It's definitely something that I could do now, which I have a lot of resources for. So that's pretty cool. So let's see if I can make this guy. Not yet. Let's make some conversion matrices. Let's make, I don't know, 4 for now, and let's make a bunch of these guys as well. All right, so I got 2 for now. Now, like I said, I've actually already tested it with IndustrialCraft. And now what I want to do here is actually something I still haven't decided quite yet. Now, if you don't know, the way I have set this up down below here, it's that it pretty much runs. Oh, I just lost those quarry blocks. I should have my magnet on. I had it in my pouch. Oh well. So yeah, pretty much runs from the outside that has my solar panels into the MFSU, and then but it also goes directly into the ME controller. So it's kind of like a direct access to the ME controller. It doesn't actually go through MFSU. Now I can do that mainly because I don't need any backup storage because this is a always daylight world. So the solar panels will always be transmitting power. And if it was at nighttime, then you want to make sure you have a backup so you can store some power for the nighttime and so forth and so on. I'm sure I don't have to explain this to you guys by now. But now what I want to do is set up a system so I can transfer power through the MFSU out into, actually you probably don't even need an MFSU. It's just what I want to take advantage of is the fact that MFSU can output at 2000 EU per tick. The panels can only output at 512 each. So that's pretty much what I'm trying to take advantage of. Pretty much it acts like a buffer. It stores a lot of power and it can output even higher or faster, I should say, than the solar panels themselves. Now, eventually, what I want to set up is something I actually try in test world. Is you can set up multiple MFSUs to output to a glass fiber cable, which can transfer 8,000 EU per tick, and then connect the tunnel to that glass fiber cable, and then you can transfer through the network without actually using much of the expensive materials. Because if you look at the glass fiber cable, and that's when I pretty much decided I wanted to go through a trouble of doing all this, even though it is kind of fun because I never tried it before, so I should probably type a little bit more into it. But yeah, glass fiber cable before it was quite cheap to make. Nowadays, not so much. Just to make one of these guys, you need some energium dust. If you guys remember from making the MFE and even the MFSU, I don't think I actually did the MFSU on camera though. So from making the MFE, this is actually something you need to make one of those guys. So it's actually quite expensive because you need some diamond dust. You need 4 diamonds to make 9 of these energium dust. So you need about maybe half a diamond per each glass fiber cable, or somewhere around those ratios. So it's something quite expensive if you want to, cable your whole base with this. Now the reason I want to transfer this much power is because I want to overclock the crap out of my machines. I want them to be very quick. If I want a high voltage solar array, I want it now. I don't want to be waiting too long. And pretty much it just comes down to speed. I want it to be very fast, very effective whenever I need it. So transferring 8,000 EU per ticks through the ME network is actually something that can come in quite handy. So let me just stop rambling and actually set something up here. So if I get some quarry blocks, I just wanted to show you guys how that was connected down there. And I should probably close this up. And yeah. So yeah, once I get all these machines going, I'll probably be setting up something here with the... Actually, I'm going to need some ME cable to connect to here. You know what? I want to spin this guy around to look this direction. Yeah. So if I press there, cool. Then I can just use this guy there. Just use my flight mode here and get out of here and connect this up. Pretty sure you can connect it here. Yeah, perfect. There you go. Turn this off. Just break this up. Alright, so that's connected already. Now, it requires a few things actually to be working properly. So let me just get this out of the way. I'm gonna need a memory. Something I forgot. Memory. Okay, ME bus memory card. So I need one of these guys. And I'm gonna need some cable. Any kind of IndustrialCraft cable should work. Not cobble, cable. Some of this gold cable should work just fine as well. You just need a piece of it. You don't actually need to use it. There you go. So pretty much what you do is, actually, you know what? I'm gonna move it around just so I can show you guys. Here, pretty much it starts off as just pretty much like almost like a grayish white. That's pretty much means that it's not, doesn't forgot the word they used in the wiki. Pretty much just certain categories. Obviously, there's the IndustrialCraft power, MJ power, fluids, and items. Because this guys can actually transfer items without them actually accessing the disk. So you can actually transfer items through a separate tunnel than the regular items would go through, and go into your ME system and plug it up if you have a bunch of different types of items and so forth. But you know, that's for maybe some future episode. Pretty much what I want to do is set it so that it knows it should accept IndustrialCraft power. So as you can click on it with a cable, it turns like a light bluish, and that's the color for the IndustrialCraft power. And then just pretty much switch it around, and that's connected to this guy, and now it's ready to transfer. Now what it needs is shift right click with this memory bus card, and it saves your settings, so it knows where it's taking power from. Because I guess it's kind of a downside, but if you're smart enough, you can figure out a way around it. Pretty much it comes down to it only has one input, and you can have as many outputs as you want. Or as far as I know, you can have as many outputs as you want. I tried it with I think it was like 6-8 outputs, and it was working just fine. In the wiki, I didn't read any limitations about the outputs. It just said n amount outputs. That usually just means unlimited. So as long as you only have one input though, for each, because then you can only shift click with it once, and then you can just right click on it with any other output, and that's just how it works. I guess that the system's set up. So pretty much you have to be smart about what your output is. I mean, no, sorry. I'm just messing myself up. What your input is, because if you have one MFSU, this guy can only output at 2048. But I mentioned if you set up multiple MFSUs and you connect all those to a glass fiber cable, and then connect the tunnel to the glass fiber cable, it's the sum of all those MFSUs together. So as long as you know how to work around the limitations of inputs and outputs, I'm sure later down the line, once I actually get to have multiple MFSUs and get to transfer about 8,000 EUs per tick, I'll mention it again and explain a bit more. It's hard to just speak about it without actually demonstrating it. So hopefully you guys are getting the gist of it, and can move on and try to do something else here. Now I got some power. I should probably make several more of these, but I want to just set up one to see if it's working. Alright, so I got the frequency already set up. Let me just go downstairs and let's see. I actually haven't planned out exactly how I want to do this. As far as well, it should be about there. I think this is going to be the corner now. That's going to be the corner, okay. Okay, so that's there. Let's see, let's grab the induction furnace. Oh, and something else I noticed. It's kind of curious actually. I'm not sure how it works with induction furnace, but I tried it when I was testing in the test world with the metal former. Is you didn't need any of these transformer upgrades. I was able to put I think it was like 13 or 14 overclockers on it, and transfer about what was it, like 6,000, 7,000 EU per tick without any any transformer upgrades. I don't know if it's a bug or not, but pretty much you could accept as much power as you can dump into it without it blowing up, which is very useful, because then that way, I'm assuming, because I haven't actually tested it with the induction furnace, is I can make it accept a lot of power without it blowing up. So I'm hoping that's what's gonna happen here. So I'm gonna just right click here with it, and then just right click here, and it says a little message on the screen. It says settings loaded from memory card. And that's what you want to see. Now let's see here. Now this guy should be getting power, and now what I want to do here is actually let me just go down there, and I believe maybe there. That's where that's where it is. I'm gonna need a flash card. Not flash card. I need a lever so I can heat up this thing. There you go. I need to break this because I need to see it, because I can't see it from down there. Alright, so there you go. There. And now it will start heating up properly. Alright, so that's pretty much it as far as I remember. It should be getting power. I want to wait until it heats up a little bit more, and then I can start doing some other stuff with it. Now the cool thing about this is that now pretty much it frees me up for so much as far as how I want to do this, because I can have the output in the back and the input in the top, and I can have a machine right next to it, so I can really use this to my advantage and really compact my setup a lot more. Now what else could it do here? Because I could have power on all my machines from the bottom and output, but actually there's an upgrade you can do with IndustrialCraft machines. Somebody actually mentioned it. IndustrialCraft. Okay, here it is. Ejector upgrade. And it says automatically outputs to the first valid side. So if you use an interface, it should be able to output to the interface itself. And I would do it, but the fact that I already have a bunch of these buses, I don't see a need for it. So I'm just going to go for it and just put this guy here. Just break that there and get some ME cable connected down there. That should all connect nicely with a interface right there. Cool. Now what I want to do is make sure that the interfaces are all facing downwards. Otherwise this can just get messy. This is my thermal expansion. Actually, you know what? Thermal expansion I'm going to put here for now. And let's see. The ME transformer, I shouldn't need it unless this thing blows up. So what I want to do here is organize my inventory a bit, and then grab the 4 patterns that I usually. I don't have the diamond one for some reason. I thought I did. Let me just make sure. Yeah, I don't think I have it there. Alright, I have to make that one later. Alright, so this should be working now. It is already to heat 27. Let's see, I want to try it out with maybe just making some glass. Do I have any glass in the system? I have some glass. Alright, so let's just craft a few stacks. And let's just go there and double check. Alright, so glass is already pouring into it. Power is cycling through it. And it's heating up. Perfect. And it's outputting out the back, and everything's nice and compact, everything nice and clean as I want it to be. Cool. Alright, so pretty much what I have to do now is pretty much set this up for all the machines here. And the setup is going to be pretty similar. Like I mentioned, I just wanted to get this out of the way and kind of show you guys what I was going to do here while I was doing it, because I think it's a lot easier to demonstrate than to just explain later. And that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing here for a lot of the machines here. I will be testing between episodes how the thermal expansion power can be distributed or not. And I'm also going to be using it a lot for as far as liquids goes. I'm going to use that as well. Because what I'm going to be doing here is setting up a couple tanks here on the roof with oil and fuel that I'm going to be using for my redstone flux energy stuff. Like I had in the other base, pretty much it's going to be just about the same. It's just going to have my tanks here on the roof. I think it's a pretty good spot because it's a lot of wasted space here. It is nice that it has a nice roof to it, but then it's a lot of wasted space here. So I'm going to probably have like a tank here with oil, a tank here with fuel, and have some refiners here taking care of that as well. I'm going to probably have a tank of water. That's what I want to do here. Tank of water, and then have a... Now, it might sound silly why you want a tank of water, but obviously the water is going to be coming from some aqueous accumulators, and then the tank's just going to act like a buffer, and then set up a few of these P2P tunnels as input from the tank. That's why I wanted to have a tank, so it can output a lot of quantities from it, and then pretty much distribute that water anywhere I need it in my base. If you guys remember, I already have a tank over here with my Thumbcraft stuff, this tank right here, and it's actually not connected anywhere, so if I use this water, it's just gonna run out, and then I won't have anything to fill up my crucible with. So pretty much that's the reason why I want water. It's a lot of things that require water, and just having a centralized hub of water coming in would be nice, and it will help things keep I guess organized, because if you guys remember, I had a bunch of aqueous accumulators everywhere on my base. Pretty much every time I needed water, I just had to set up one up because I had no centralized water provider. I guess is the best way I can explain it. So yeah, guys, until next time, bye.